Hello and welcome back. Welcome back. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about mastering the art of client attraction and boosting sales. This is so essential, so essential. And I want to talk to you about the foundations of client attraction and client attraction strategies that work. I'm going to talk from experience, but I'm going to talk about like the real marketing, real stuff that works. Because there is so much out there. There's so many people out there now telling you what you should do, what you have to do. And I'm going to open your eyes today. Like, you don't have to do what everybody's telling you to do. First of all, you have to do what feels right for you when it comes to attracting clients. Because I know that there is so many ways out there that are spammy and uncomfortable. People are actually practicing them and it's happening a lot. And you think these days people will be wiser to that not working. Like I'm talking about getting in the DMs and spamming people, and it doesn't work. So we want to do it in an authentic and aligned way. And that needs to feel right with you. So client attraction is essential for sustainable business growth because we want to build a consistency, you want to build an audience, you want to build a community, you want to attract people to you, to your brand, get to know you, build that like, know, and trust factor, and then of course the sales will follow from that. And your sales will be boosted when you are growing your audience, as long as you are actually selling. But all the time, I see a common challenges with business owners is that the sales aren't coming. And often when I look at their audience, and I've had it on a few occasions where I've told clients what to do, they need to work on the lead generation, need to grow the audience, and then a couple of months down the line, we're at the same situation again. And often what happens is it's you marketing to the same people. So we need to be attracting new people into your world. And this is where it needs to work because if we're not bringing fresh new eyes into your business, you're literally putting the same message out to the same people again and again and again. And of course, those people might be diehard fans, repeating clients, and that is fine. That can bring people in, but we always need fresh people in. We need to replenish stock. That's what we're doing with clients. We're replenishing stock. So the common struggles are consistency, actually having the consistency to grow the audience, to attract people into your world. So if this is something that you know that you find challenging, then I want you to question like why are you not being consistent? And half of the time, or probably 95% of the time, it's down to lack of clarity. Because if you're not actually clear on what you're doing with your strategy in terms of client attraction, then this is what happens because you're not clear. You don't know exactly the action you need to take today, tomorrow, so on. You don't know what to say, what to do, who to speak to. Then it kind of puts a barrier up. So this is what happens. It's a common thing I see is lack of consistency, leading to less content, less connection with people, less lead generation, and at the end of that, less sales, which means we've not got a sustainable business model. I have built many communities over the years. So my first community was actually not a business community. It was 8,000 people in a free community. When I first became a mum, I built a community of mums, which is amazing. And this was before any social media training. So I did that, went really, really well, and I caught on to, oh, I can do this. So I started a business. So my business community, I built Dani keepsakes, and I ended up eventually with 10,000 followers on my business page before I ended up creating a new one, which was a whole palaver, because it wouldn't connect with Instagram. So I started again. But I did have 10,000 people on there. I built I built a networking audience in like I think just short of 2 years. I came into that space with I think 300 people in a group. I left it with 1,200. So I'd increased it by 900 members in the time that I was working in this group. And I see this a lot as well. Like I came into that space, I grew it, I made it bigger, I attracted new people in, but what I see happening is people are not consistently doing that. They're not attracting new people in. They're not growing the audience. That's what we need to do. So I did that, and then of course I started this business as the Queen of Business Organisation, and it's still growing. So I have no idea Actually do have an idea because I put together a sponsorship package for my innovation celebration event at the end of the year. And so I needed to check out my stats and see how many followers I had across my platforms. And so I put that on there, and it's over 6,000 people, and that was at the time I was noting that, so that was a couple of months ago, and it's grown since, and it's always growing. So over 6,000 people, and yeah, so like looking at that, it's not as many. This business has only been around for 4 years. I have had a massive niche switch in that time. I also haven't run my Instagram for 4 years. I think it's about 2 years. And marketing and growing an audience, everything's changed since that original 8,000 people I got in the free community of mums. And it's interesting to see what it takes to grow your followers now versus back then. When I first started out, there was less competition on social media. Less people were using it for their business. Less people were selling on social media in general, and now everybody is. Lots of people are selling. So things have changed, and people are wise now. They know that if you invite them into a group, you're going to do more than give them free stuff, you're going to sell to them. So they won't have lots and lots of value as a bonus of coming into your space, of doing that thing. So when you are building your audience, this is something in my personal experience you need to think about is what am I giving in exchange for them signing up to my mailing list or coming and joining my Facebook group or following me? What am I giving? Because it is an exchange. If they're going to sign up to your email list, they're going to follow you, it is an exchange. They want to be getting something back so that they stick around. So that's a few things to kind of think about. And let's talk about the foundations of client attraction. So we've got three foundations that I'm going to talk about. They are the most important. And like I said, clarity is key. Foundation number one is clarity around your ideal client. So it's understanding who you're attracting, but also why. Because you need to be so clear on this. Because if you don't know who exactly you're attracting, then you're not going to be, your content's not going to speak to them. So we need to target people specifically. But also the why is the most important thing, because if you don't understand why, if you're not clear, then your people that are seeing it, your followers or people outside of your audience that are coming in or looking in or seeing you or meeting you, whatever it is that you're doing to build the audience, they're not going to connect with you if it's not clear why you want them to come into your world. So you need to share that. It's really important to share that and have that focus nailed on who exactly it is that you want to fill your audience with. Because if we market to just everyone and anyone and we're not specific, then what happens is we have this audience of people that are not actually interested in our business. It's not going to go anywhere else. So how can you get clarity around your ideal client? I would actually spend some time sitting with it. I know that every business training out there talks about ideal client, but that is because it is so important. It really is. And you might not even have one type of ideal client either. You probably have a variety of ideal clients. I know I do. I have three types of ideal clients. I've got the first type who has just started their business. Like they've got nothing going on, they're bare bones, nothing, just getting started. And often they're the easiest because they've got nothing, they're a clean slate to start with. The second type of ideal client is the person that's been in business for a while, but they're not making profit, they're not making a lot of money, they're not consistently signing clients. And so obviously we need to work on, so we've got the startup, we've got the growth, and then the final one is the scaling type of clients. So these are the clients that have already got an established, existing, successful business. And what often happens here is at the moment, the most common problem I'm finding is these clients have got one-to-one clients fully booked and they've hit an income ceiling. They often, when we raise our game, when we hit that next level, sometimes we raise our baseline. So we might be paying out more, we might outsource more, so we get less profit. So you need to raise it again. And I find that what happens is clients fill their time with their clients, their one-to-one clients, and then they have no movement. Like they've hit a ceiling, they can't earn anymore, and they need to break through. They need to break through that glass ceiling. And so what we do is we work on that to scale the business in quite a few different ways. So when that happens, we need to look at how they can fit different types of clients in. So that's another type of client I've got. So there's like three main characters. What I like to think about them if as if you were writing a book based on your ideal client, maybe their journey. What three key points in their life are they at that you help them with? Where are you at on that scale? And every time I talk about this again, well, it's okay for you, Dani, because you're selling business to business. That is so much easier. However, it is possible when you're not in business to business to also do this. One example I'm going to use is I'll use myself as a SEN parent. So, as a SEN parent, needing support, maybe getting child diagnosed or coping with autism, ADHD, neurodiversity, things like that. You may have, again, three different points. You may have the first one, which was me 8 years ago, who had just discovered that, like, they'd just been told that the son could be autistic. And they don't really know what that means. They've heard of it, but they've no experience of it. And so that person is going to need to just know what it is, what's potentially going to be happening. They're just starting out on that journey, and they're potentially going to need to know what their next steps are. So that's one type of ideal client at a certain point on the journey. Fast forward, I'd say about 5 years, that same person's on a completely different place in the journey. They've actually done some work, they've already tried things, but what they might need is actually a bit of regulation for themselves, talking about myself here. They might need to, they might have been through the diagnosis process and they might be stuck. So you'd speak to that person. And then you've got the one at the other end, which I'm in between these two characters. The third and final character is the person that they've got the diagnosis, they have got support in place, they know what they're doing, they're happy. I mean, this person it's hard, like, because to get to a point, I speak to any STEM parent, and it's knowing this with your ideal client as well. Speak to any STEM parent, you get to that place, and with diagnosis and have systems in place, strategies that can help. However, there does tend to be regression. So I'm actually the client that bounces between the two. And so you hit them at different points. You talk about the different needs. So that's why we need to know who they are, but we also need to know why we're speaking to them and which character they're at, where are they at on that journey. So think about that for your business, like the places they're at on that journey. The second foundation of client attraction is brand positioning. I'm absolutely loving talking about this right now. And it's because I've done a lot of work on it recently for myself with starting up my networking business, the Social Success Circle, but also because I've been teaching it a lot. I've done it inside my foundations program and I did it inside my organize and optimize micro offer. And I love talking about branding and positioning because this, I believe, once you know your ideal client and you position your brand correctly, you are going to be standing out and you're going to be seen as the go-to expert. But it's so much more than that. It's about it's about people knowing who you are. So standing out, they know who you are, you're being seen, people can recognize you straight away. I can go to events and I meet people I don't even know, but they know me. Often because my hair is pink, often because I'm always wearing bright pink, and they recognize me because my content, it's all consistent, it's all branded the same. They know who I am. I stand out. It's bold, it's colourful, and I post that much that a lot of people can't miss what I'm saying. I mean, people do still miss things, but I stand out. I'm being seen, and I talk about what I do, so people know. They know I'm a business coach. They know I'm a business mentor. They know I've written and published a book and they say stuff to me like they know stuff about me. I often go to events and people will ask, have you got your son's diagnosis yet? Or have you found anything like that? How's he doing in school? Or what's happened with this? What's happened to that? How's your husband? Things like this because they know my story so, so well because of the way I've positioned myself as the person that does this thing, that has this going on. So I'm the go-to expert in that area. and are standing out in that area. So think about how you can position yourself and your brand. And don't be afraid to use some of your life experiences. And it's obviously what you want to share, what you feel comfortable sharing, and making that part of what you do, part of what you talk about, part of your brand and your story, which is going to take me into the third foundation of client attraction, and that is messaging and storytelling. You want to craft a message that resonates and creates desire with your audience. Because if people don't resonate with you, are they going to buy from you? Think about the last thing that you purchased. Who did you purchase it from and why did you purchase? Especially if it was a brand or a business online. But even if it wasn't, even if it was a high street brand, like why did you go to them specifically? I'm going to choose an example of my shoes, my trainers that I bought last year. I invested in for myself some Skechers Arch Fit shoes, very expensive. I've never spent that amount of money on a pair of trainers for myself before. However, I did it and I went to that particular brand because I know that their message is about comfort. And I specifically knew that the Arch Fit were made for my feet. I struggle with the curves in my feet. So I knew that they had the exact product that could solve my problem. I needed some new trainers, but I needed some that offered comfort, that weren't going to hurt my feet, and that were actually specifically made for my feet. And that resonated with me. There, oh, my alarm's going off. I had to find what was right for me, and that resonated. And it created a desire as well, because at the point when I bought them, I was actually struggling to walk for more than 10 minutes because my feet were in agony. They were hurting so much. And I'd already bought, like, Nike Airs used to be really good for me. Didn't buy an expensive pair of those, but I did buy a pair because I'd previously been okay with them. I'd even bought some. I bought some other shoes that had popped up on social media in an advert, told me that they were made for my feet. They were horrendous, more painful than anything else. I'd rather not wear shoes. And yeah, they were just awful. But I bought quite a few pairs and I was sick and tired of spending this money on these trainers that just sat in my cupboard because I weren't wearing them because they were painful for me to wear. So I needed something that basically it was meeting my desire to have comfort, to be able to walk for more than 10 minutes without having to breathe through the pain. That's what I desired. And so their product met that desire. So this comes about through messaging and storytelling. I only know about these because of recommendation, but what's really key here is within that recommendation, the message that I received was they are the most comfortable shoes you ever wear. And I've been told that by a few people. I got told that in my old job, which was when I first bought my first pair of Skechers, and then it led to me getting more. And so that message seeped through. Like I didn't see their advert, it came through other people. And when you have a powerful message and it tells a story of what it can do for people, it's going to have an impact, even to the point that their advert doesn't have to exist. You don't have to see it because it's going to have an impact on you through other people, through word of mouth, through making recommendation. So a powerful message and storytelling needs to do that to attract clients into your world. Because what did I do? I had that recommendation. I bought my first pair of Skechers when I used to work on the wards in AHS. And then when I'd left and last year, I was needing these trainers. So I thought back to the best shoes that I've ever worn, which was Skechers, and I thought I need them again. And so I went and bought those. So it attracted me in as a client. I went onto their website, did a little digging, found out the Arch Fit shoes, had a little look at them, read the testimonials, read the reviews. I actually found a discount code, signed up to their loyalty scheme, and I was happy, and I bought them. I became a client because they had everything there to attract me in. They had the story, they had the message of the comfort and how they were going to improve my experience with walking. And then they had actually this discount and this loyalty scheme on their website that just sold it for me. So think about the things that you can put in place within the foundations of your business for client attraction. And I want to talk about a client strategies attraction strategies that work. So the most popular one, and we're all aware of right now, is social media strategy. This is literally using social media to create content that brings clients to you. Social media is the busiest it's ever been. There's more platforms than ever as well, but it is all about the content that you put on there that brings clients to you. We all know that keywords are becoming a thing now on social media. So using keywords that your ideal client are going to be searching for is really, really important. And I remember when I first heard of this, I was like, oh, this is ridiculous. Nobody is actually searching keywords on Instagram, for example, are they? They are. I've caught myself doing it. I sat this morning, I was looking at some chat GPT prompts because there's some that are trending at the minute and I wanted to see if I could find any more and just play around with it and see what were out there. And so when I did that, I put in ChatGPT prompts and loads of posts came up and I recognise that I'm actually searching a keyword here. So anyone that has the hashtag or the words ChatGPT prompt in their content, their post will have come up for me. So social media is beyond social media now. It's actually about keywords as well and bringing that into your content so that it will attract clients to you, especially public content. So think Instagram public content, your Facebook profile public content, your Facebook page. Having those keywords, so if someone searches for you, that content is going to bring them to you. They're going to land on your content. It's going to bring them to follow you. And we can do this in other ways. We can use social media as part of a much bigger strategy with other strategies that work, such as lead magnets and email nurturing. Building an engaged audience through email marketing is absolutely possible, and it feels nicer and it feels so much more personal, I believe, anyway. And this is because I get a lot of people actually respond to my emails. So if you're on my email list, hit reply and say hi. I love that. I love when people respond and ask questions and start a conversation. And this takes things one step further for attraction with clients. It gets them to actually reach you. And we can increase that, we can push that through lead magnets and email nurturing. So, talking about lead magnets, this is something that you can offer for free to lead them in, to attract them in and onto your email list. So it might be a masterclass or a live webinar that you do. It might be a download, whatever that looks like. You offer that for free to attract them in. And then what you want to do is you want to nurture the people through your email list. You don't just want to attract loads and loads of people all the time and that's it. You want to actually nurture them by sending regular content to them that helps them stay engaged with you, helps them hit reply, click on the links that you have in their emails, and take action. So when you think about that in terms of a strategy that still works, it does still work if done correctly. And then there's visibility and networking. So I touched on the visibility a little bit, but visibility is so, so powerful and you can get visible through networking, through the power of collaboration, speaking opportunities, networking groups. You can do so, so much to get visible. One example, networking. I am starting and launching a networking business. So with the social success circle, the actual ethos of that business is that I'm wanting to create a community where people come into where they have accessible and inclusive networking. So there's events available at all times for everyone. And that's what I want to create. And so you could go into there and you can start conversations, you can meet people, you can connect with people and be visible, get in front of people. It can create collaborations where you go and do something together, sell something together, maybe you host something together, you maybe get invited to speak for them, and so on. There's so much possibility, so much potential through visibility and networking. So think about visibility and networking as part of your strategy because it does work. And in fact, in-person networking is on the rise right now. I am noticing that, especially here in Leeds, we've never really had many active networking groups, and now they seem to be everywhere. There seems to be growing. So there's definitely something happened there. Things are changing, things are shifting. People want to get to in-person networking, and there's nothing better than an in-person connection. So if you can make those in-person connections, build those relationships, you're going to start attracting clients and boosting sales. And I want to go into a final thought now, talking about client attraction in terms of strategy, sales, and systems. So, client attraction for strategy. You need to have a strategy just for client attraction, I believe. So I'm going to skip past the sales bit. I'm going to start at the beginning. I want you to think about what your strategy is for growing your audience. And this is getting people signed up to your email list, or getting people to follow your page or join your Facebook group. What things are you doing to make that happen? So thinking about the foundations that I've shared with you today, you need to make sure you're clear about your ideal client and you're communicating that in your content. You need to think about your brand positioning, again, having that message and storytelling happening within your content. And then thinking about how you are using social media to create content that brings clients to you, gets them moving, gets them taking action. But even before that, like, how are you getting people to come and follow you? We talked about SEO and keywords, lead magnets and email nurturing, and visibility and networking. So I'd absolutely make all of that part of your strategy right now. Client attraction in terms of sales. So I believe there's kind of two steps before the sale happens. The first one is you get people into the audience. The second one is, I believe, you turn that audience into a lead. That's my thoughts on this. It's a 3-step process. You've got audience, lead, sale. Because anyone that's just sitting in your audience is not going to buy. But you need to actually turn them into a lead. You have to lead them in. And that happens through presenting the right offer, or asking the right questions, and hitting the nail on the head at the right time. So I want to think about, in terms of client attraction, in terms of sales, how are you doing that? How are you then taking them over the line and converting them from just an audience member hanging out and watching what you do to actually answering questions, engaging, or taking action, which is going to lead to the next step. And finally, have a system for this. Have a system for client attraction. Think about what that looks like. Bonus points if you can automate it as well. I love saving time with automation. So think about how can you attract clients, have a system for it, and automate it to save you time. Because it makes such a difference when you do this. And this could be outsourcing, it could be having some tech. The world is your oyster. But I would love for you to go away and start thinking about mastering the art of client attraction and boosting your sales. And if you do that, come and let us know. We want to know when you're winning. Well, I do. I say we. This is where it's going to get confusing with two businesses, right? Because when it's Social Success Circle, I say we because it's more than just me. But when it's just me, I'm just the Queen of Business Organisation. It's just me and one team member. So it's going to get a little tricky, is that communication. It really is, because they're both so different. But they do work hand in hand and side by side very, very nicely, which I love. So yes, go out there, master the art of client attraction, and enjoy finding yourself some new clients. I will see you in the next episode. Please do like, do subscribe, do rate us, and share with your friends. I'd love for them to come and listen to our episodes and get some value in it. I'll see you next time.